Hey friends, you're watching BrainStormAcres. I'm Henry.
And I'm Irene.
Today we're going to talk about corn.
Hmm.
A sad tale of corn.
If you've been following us, you know we have had literally the hottest summer here that we've ever experienced in 15 years.
Yeah, today it's probably around 75 degrees.
Feels so awesome.
2 days ago it was 101, and the day before that it was 104.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's been 104 several days in a row. Recognizing that this is that cold thing that came down out of Canada where Colorado and Wyoming and a bunch of places east of us are under snow. Yeah. So we're thrilled with 75 degrees as a high today, and we should be down around 41 tonight.
We pulled up our corn.
What I'll do is I'll reduce the amount of water in the morning to half. And the problem is I still need the water for the ground cherries.
Yep.
Right. We decided that it was as done as it was going to get.
It was actually overdone.
Yeah, it was overdone. But I do have some samples so that we can chat about what went wrong. So
a lot of things actually went wrong.
Right. These are being dried, so they look dry. But this is what a normal ear of corn looks like from that particular variety. I mean, and that's a nice ear of corn.
It's gorgeous.
It's completely filled out. It was obviously very well pollinated and all that kind of stuff. And we did get some that were kind of small, but that wasn't the big problem. The big problem was the lack of pollination. And some of them were barely pollinated at all.
Well, this one is actually a lot more pollinated than probably the 150 ears of completely unpollinated corn that we had to just get rid of.
Right. What happened was, because it had been so intensely hot, no matter how much we watered, we just couldn't keep it wet enough. Now, it was fertilized well. We had been really making a point to make sure that the leaves on it stayed very, very green, making sure it had tons and tons of nitrogen and stuff like that. So it was doing great that way. But because of the extreme heat, basically we got the pollen before we got the silk.
By a lot.
By a couple of weeks. So there was a period, rather brief, probably of only a few days, where they actually overlapped. But we had pollen for probably 2 weeks before I saw any silk.
And that's not good, because in order to pollinate the ears of corn, you have to have the silk.
Right. And each annoying strand of silk that we would normally get stuck in our teeth when we're trying to eat basically leads down to a kernel. And a piece of pollen falling on that silk travels down the silk into the kernel and pollinates it, and then it becomes a real kernel like these did. But we had way too many ears that were not pollinated at all. They were literally just like a stick with little lumps where there should have been kernels.
Now, we had temperatures over 100 degrees for several weeks in a row.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's been kind of the story of current climate that's going on in our area for the past several years.
Well, it was worse this year than it's ever been before. And add to that the problem that we had a problem with our water company. So we just couldn't get enough water. So we were skimping a little bit, and we tried not to skimp at all on the corn. But whereas I might have said, oh, well, I'll water it again today, I couldn't afford to do that. Not and keep everything else alive and have something to flush the toilet with. So it was a real doozy. Something that we've come up with some solutions to, but it's not a complete solution, because we could get another, even if we had unlimited water. Now, we've listened to the folks over at Haas Tools a couple of times say that it was so hot there in South Georgia that they were actually running overhead sprinklers to help cool the fields down.
You know, that actually does a good job around here, because we have very low humidity.
Very low humidity.
So if you have a breeze, you'll have some cooling as long as you have some water.
Right. But that's a lot of water. I mean, one of the boys over there actually mentioned that he was concerned about his well going dry. He was pumping so much water. And that's become a huge problem in lots of places in the United States, where how much water can you draw from your well, even if you have a deep well, before you run it dry. So, yeah, this climate stuff is going to be a real challenge in the future.
Well, we think there's several problems that happened. One was the heat. That definitely created a problem. But you know, there's another thing that we haven't really talked about very much. There's either something that was eating the silk off the ears, or it was being blown off by the wind.
We had some extremely high wind. Extremely high. And there were a couple times when I was going out trying to check things and always making sure how green the leaves and stuff were to make sure I didn't need to fertilize more. And the silk was gone. I never saw anything eat it, but the silk was gone. So it's not like I was seeing bugs eating it. And we did not have a single ear of corn that had a corn earworm in it this year.
Yeah, there were no worms in any of the corn that we ate. The corn was actually very, very good.
It was delicious. I would definitely grow that again.
Yeah, unfortunately we left about 150 ears that were unpollinated.
Yeah.
Out in the pile that's going to be used for decorations or compost or something.
Combination of things, I think. I think the nice ones will become decorations for the fall, and then I don't know what we'll do with it. Maybe we could run. We'll have to see if our old chipper runs. If it still runs, we could run that through the chipper and stick it in the compost.
We can do that. Well, I hope this is of interest to you. Unfortunately for us, it was mostly a fail on the corn.
Yeah.
We'll see how the dent corn does. We'll give you a little bit of a view on that. Probably another week or two.
Yeah, we seem to be getting more of an overlap on the pollen and the silk on this one, which is good because there's nothing you can do. I mean, nothing you can do. You just sit there and look at it and go, okay, well, you know. And but it seems to be we have silk and pollen at the same time, so hopefully.
Well, thanks very much for watching. We hope that you found this interesting, if not entertaining. And we certainly didn't find it entertaining to go out there and pull the corn stalks.
No.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so that you find out when we publish something new on our channel, because we're always doing something new here.
Right. Yeah. Now that section is empty, I'm still watering it a little bit because I don't want the soil to dry out completely. But I need to rake it, and I'll be putting in brassicas.
So you want to stick around for that?
Yep, for sure. We're going to be growing some rutabagas this year, which I haven't grown in about 12 years. So.
Well, good luck to us. Thanks for watching. We'll talk with you later. Bye.
Bye.